I just want to be the best ever. Not all these other names that people list on their top 10 or whatever. I just want to be number me.
You had the very first singles match in AEW history.
It was a lot of pressure. I got to do good, and I got to set the bar for the rest of the show.
That move with you and Matt Hardy on the scissor lift?
It was such an unfortunate thing because I was actually going to get thrown off Daly's place to end the thing, just because I love falling off high things.
I feel like you and Darby Allin are having a competition for who can do the craziest stuff.
He might got me beat now. I was doing some crazy stuff, but I got a baby now.
How do you deal with the haters?
I try not to defend myself. There's no winning with it.
Yeah, we've stepped the game up a little bit here, right?
Yeah, 100%. You got sponsorships.
F3 Energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got multiple cameras.
Well, I mean, you could look at each one right now. So look at that one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there. Yeah.
We got a guy back there.
Yeah, Harry's the
multiple
best.
monitors. I'm impressed, man. Congratulations.
Dude, congrats to you on everything.
Personally,
professionally. The last interview we did, AEW hadn't even had a match at that point in time.
Yeah.
It was the summer of 2019.
Crazy.
Recording it on my iPhone in a hotel. I randomly was in Houston to see the Astros play with my dad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait a second. Sammy Guevara lives in Houston.
And not no more. I don't live there no more.
You live here in Orlando now.
Orlando, yeah.
But look at you and your dad.
I know. You're a dad.
We're dads.
Look at us.
And husbands.
Right?
Dude, congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats to you too.
Thank you.
Literally, I saw when you posted like the, what is it, skin on skin.
The Rock told me to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, well, if The Rock says to do it.
Got to do it.
You did it too, right? It's a thing.
No, so I wanted to do it, but whenever she gave birth, they had to like stitch her up because she had a tear. Mm-hmm. And then they almost had to send her to the OR. And then she was like having a reaction from the epidural.
Oh, yeah.
And then so it was like a scary moment. So she's holding the kid, but then all of a sudden she starts like shaking like crazy. Her skin turns like a different color, like really pale. So it was like, and then like she started throwing up. So they handed the baby to me, but I still had my shirt on. And it's like not a time to be like, oh, let me take my shirt off. And yeah. It was scary for a minute, but
oh man, we don't need to get into the details of it, but the whole thing around pregnancy is wild.
Yeah.
And I have so much love and respect for my wife Rachel for everything that she went through during the pregnancy, but that day she was in labor for 42 hours.
Wow, okay, because we were there for 25 hours. So
just crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
Oh, just absolutely crazy.
The lead up to it too is like everything at the hospital that she had to go through, and then the whole pregnancy. It's like I would always joke like, oh, we're gonna have like 7 kids or whatever. But man, after that first one, it's whatever she wants to do,
I remember in the hospital, my wife's like, how do people want to do this like more than once?
Yeah.
Do they just forget?
Yeah, that's what Ty was saying. She's like, I'm never doing this again.
And then a few months later, like, our daughter's almost 7 months old now. She's like, I think we could do it again. I'm like, I'm totally on board, 1,000%. But like, you need to remember.
Well, it's like a couple of days ago. She was like, yeah, I could see me doing this again. Like she was holding our daughter, and then it's like, you just said, yeah, but look, she's so cute.
How old's Luna?
Almost 1 month.
Oh, it's brand new.
Yeah.
Oh,
right out of the shop,
You're close to like, it's soon when you start getting like smiles.
Yeah, I've seen some smiles and stuff.
And that's a game changer,
dude.
Because before then, you're just caring for this thing that's crying and sleeping and eating and crying and sleeping and eating.
Yeah.
And you see a little smile and you're like, oh.
Uh-huh. And then like for her to sleep, she really like loves being like contact. Oh. So she'll just fall asleep on my chest, and it's just like, man, this is the best.
Oh man, Isn't dad life great?
It's pretty cool for sure. And now it's like it's got me thinking differently just in wrestling, because I'm used to doing all the I'm crazy stuff, but I'm like, yeah, I guess I can't be that crazy anymore.
So we're gonna dial it back a little bit.
I don't know if we're gonna dial it back, but I think we'll be more selective with when we do the crazy things.
So it's maybe not as often.
Yeah.
Because when you look at your resume, I mean, especially in AEW, but before as well.
Yeah,
you're a little crazy.
There was stuff at like Lucha Underground doing a big moonsault 14 feet in the air just to Jake Hager, who, bless his heart, tried to catch me, but there's only so much you can do.
People forget you were in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I was there for, like a couple episodes.
But most of the final season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people forget that.
I mean, dude, there was so much randomness throughout the journey to get to AEW. Some people think it was like a overnight thing, but it was like literally it took 8-9 years.
When you look at the roster from any season of Lucha Underground, it's stacked with people who are stars all over the world right now. It's amazing. It's
pretty cool. You know, it's unfortunate it didn't keep going, but there was definitely something different. And yeah, you know, I'm mad I didn't get those trios titles.
Well, maybe it'll come back one day.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe Sam Evilicious will team up again. Evilise, Sunny Kiss, and me. That was the match, yeah.
Congratulations on getting married.
Thank you, yeah.
So much has happened.
Dude, yeah, and quick, you know?
Yeah, it did. It happened all very quickly. You've been married now for what, a little over a year?
Yeah, year, couple months.
Look at you. What's the best part about being married?
Honestly, it's very similar to how it was before. But now I have to remember to like carry this ring on.
That's a fancy ring.
Thank you.
I've got the silicone one from...
So that's what I need to get.
From Amazon?
Because I wrestle in this one.
Oh, dude.
Like, I wrestled Darby one time and he took it off and acted like he was going to throw it in the crowd. And I'm like, this is my actual ring, so please don't do that.
I got a pack of 5 of these for $12 on Amazon. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please.
They're fantastic. They come in multiple colors.
So the only problem with like doing this is because people told me like if I break my finger and it swells up, they're gonna have to cut the ring off, you know,
or your finger off. I mean,
oh
one
God,
or the other.
Yeah. Let's not go that far.
That happened to Jimmy Fallon. He broke this. It's a thing like where the ring can get snagged on like a surface, and then your finger ends up breaking, and then like you said,
dude,
cut the ring off.
That'd be a nightmare.
Maybe you wear this all of the time except when you're wrestling.
But honestly, it's a good way to never lose it if I just never take it off.
Yeah. You shower with it on?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So you literally never take it off.
I never take it off.
It's a nice ring.
Sometimes I like if I know I'm going to do some crazy stuff in a match, I might be like, okay, just in case, let me just put this in the bag. But most of the time, if you look at my matches, they're going to have to update my action figure. Jeremy, I need a hand with a ring on it.
If you're wanting to burn some extra calories to help with weight, or if you're looking to detoxify after a night of perhaps overindulging, check out the infrared sauna blanket from Bond Charge. I've been using this for months and I love how the sauna blanket raises your heart rate while you're just kind of sitting there relaxing. You can burn up to 600 calories in one session. I was saying to my wife, Rachel, like how badly I wanted a sauna because I knew of all the health benefits. Then we looked at the price and then we went, oh, wow, that infrared sauna blanket from Bond Charge is so much better because you get all the same benefits for a fraction of the price. It actually might be better than a real sauna because it heats up way faster in less than a minute. And then you can just sit there while you're reading or watching TV or doing whatever you want. And the infrared sauna blanket does its thing. Best of all, Bond Charge has lightning fast worldwide shipping for free and a 12-month warranty. You can save 25% this holiday season when you go right there to bondcharge.com/CVV. This deal is hot. See what I did there? It's a sauna blanket, and that's a savings of over $170. And when you go to bondcharge.com/CVV, the code is automatically applied. So take advantage of this deal while it's still going on for the holiday season. When you talk about doing crazy stuff, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Because it's a long list of
of my highlights and stuff.
What's the first one that immediately pops in there?
Oh, it's got to be probably the cutter off the ladder, spring up, boom. You know, it's funny. It's like the day before at the airport, I was talking to Alan Angels, and that's when I thought of doing that. I was talking, I was like, do you think this would be cool, or do you think this is not cool enough? Like, I wanted to do something like really like that's never been seen. And then he was like, yeah, I think it would be cool. I'm like, or should I try to do a twist with it? And I'm like, nah, I guess I'll just do it like this. I was so scared the ladder was going to kick back from me, though.
Yeah.
But I remember in midair, I'm going, I jump off the ladder, and in midair, I'm like, oh, wow, it worked. Oh, wow. Oh, ow. And then, we landed. But like in midair, I'm thinking like, oh, wow, I got a good jump. It didn't kick back or anything. Like, yeah.
What did Cody say when you told him about the idea?
Oh, he was down for everything. He wanted to do like so much craziness. This was his last AEW match. I didn't know at that time. Maybe he knew.
Yeah.
But like he was wanting to go balls to the wall. Like the ending, he wanted to do like a superplex to the outside through a ladder and all this. I'm like,
what?
I was like, man, we gotta get up and still climb this ladder. And yeah, we ended up doing the swanton with the ladder that didn't break.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it looked like it broke my back.
It really did. Justin Roberts got that great slow-mo video.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the video, what we saw on TV looked great, but that slow-mo video that Justin Roberts shot?
No, thankfully for him, like pretty much anything cool that happens, he's always right there getting slow-mo videos. And I always ask him, like, can I steal this?
I mean, he had a book called Best Seat in the House.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
He gets to see it all.
Yeah, no, I think him because like even the 6:30 the Sting, and I think the 6:30 the Darby he got in slow motion. I was like, hell yeah.
Is Sting like, sure, yeah, that sounds great, let's do it.
So story about that one, he was supposed to move.
Oh man.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, either the 6:30 was too fast or timing, whatever. I landed on him, and I remember going through the table, and I feel his body on my back, and I'm thinking, oh, I just killed Sting. Oh, no. Like, you know? And, like, I land, I kind of roll off, I look at him, and then he pops up, like, a minute later, you know, and, like, finishes the match because he's such a pro. But I remember for a minute, I was like, oh, no.
What did he tell you? Like...
He took total blame of it. He was like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't move, whatever. And, you know, I was like, dude, I'm just happy you're okay. He's like, sorry, no soldier move. And I'm like, bro, you're good. You know, like, I'm just happy you're alive.
The room for error, the margin for error on a 6:30, I feel like is so minimal.
Mm-hmm. So Ty and I, because we always pray before matches and stuff, and we think that maybe Sting didn't move on purpose, or the big guy upstairs didn't want him to move because maybe something bad was going to happen to me if he did move. Maybe the table was going to bend over or whatever. So, because we're like, dude, Sting can move. He goes, you know? So why did he not move? Maybe something bad was going to happen if he did move.
Wow. Yeah, that changes everything.
That's what we're thinking, because it's like, it just didn't make sense why it happened that way, but maybe it was for the best.
So it's been almost 5 years, almost to the day, we're getting close, to you being in AEW. When you look back on these 5 years, what are the things that really stand out for you? Aside from AEW, you know, you met your wife through AEW.
Yeah.
What are the big things that stand out for you?
I mean, just in wrestling, it changed the wrestling landscape, you know? Changed my life. I have a house. I've, you know, paid off my car. All
Dude,
that
wrestling
stuff.
bought you a house.
Yeah, it's like it's been a hell of a year, but like literally, I tell Tony this, and Matt and Nick, Cody, Chris, you know, all those guys who like helped start all this. It's like you literally changed my life for the better, and you changed so many people's lives for the better. And I don't think they get a lot of credit for that. Like, there's hundreds of people that are, you know, lives are doing better because of AEW. And I'm living a dream, you know. I have an action figure. I'm in a video game. I've won titles on TV. It's like stuff that I dreamed about as a kid. And, you know, I met my wife in AEW. If this place doesn't exist, do we meet? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how it all worked out. And I'm just very thankful for the life that I have.
You're one of the people that when people think of the TNT title, you're like the person. Like,
yeah.
3-time champ.
3-time, 1-time interim, you know?
And counting. I mean, it's going to be,
you know?
It's not just going to be 3.
Booker T was a 5-time WCW champion. Maybe I'll be a 5-time TNT champion.
He was the 6-time WCW champion.
Was he?
Well, he won the one in WWE.
Yeah, okay, 6-time world champ.
6-time, I don't know.
He's got so many belts.
Everyone remembers this.
Yeah.
I guess it was really technically, add one more in there.
He does that.
He's your guy, right?
He is my guy. I talked to him not too long ago. We had a signing together. Which I didn't know he was going to be there.
Oh, that's a nice surprise.
It was a trip, because I was like, man, I trained at this guy's school, and here we are, table by table, just making money, selling our autographs and pictures, and it's like I was talking to him though, and he was asking me like, what's your goal, you know? And I told him, I was like, I want to be the world champ, and he's like, you know, my goal was always just to be the best. And if you strive to be the best, everything else is just going to come with it. And it really got me thinking, like, when I really look at it, that's what I've been trying to do, is just be the best. Like, if you go back and watch, like, some of my old vlogs, like, I wrestled at PWG against Gunther in the last Reseda show for the PWG world title. And I didn't win. And in the vlog, I say, like, you know, I didn't win, but I never needed a belt to be Sammy Guevara. You know, I'm just trying to be the best ever. And that's really what I've tried to do the whole entire time. So, like, you know, the goal, because you need some goals just to keep striving, to keep going forward. And so, like, the world title is it. But in reality, I just want to be the best ever. You know, not all these other names that people list on their top 10 or whatever. I just want to be number me.
Is the idea to have the best match of the night every night too?
100%, you know? And I used to get a lot of heat for that on the independents, because, you know, I'm going out there trying to kill it every time, because, one, I never knew if I was going to be able to do this, like, next week or the week after, because life is just so fast. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And so in AEW or whatever, any opportunity that I got, it's like, I'm going to give 100% of this. So then, you know, if something happened tomorrow, I know that I gave it everything that I am. And, yeah, I would get a lot of heat for that, because it's like, you're doing too much, blah, blah, blah. But all that eventually got me here.
But yeah, I guess the idea behind it is, like, if you're always giving so much in every match, how could the audience possibly want more?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how could you, when the pay-per-view comes around, they feel like they've already seen it all, you know?
So that's, like, the part of just getting creative. And that was, like, when I was the TNT champ, it was like I was trying to have, like, crazy matches every single time. And it was, like, getting a struggle towards the end, because it was like, all right, what else can I do? What else can I do? And then it was almost a relief when I lost the title, because it was like, okay, I did it. I gave everything I could in every match, and now I'm done. But then I won the title one more time.
So winter is here, and I'm sure you can relate. It's tough to find the right temperature when you're sleeping. So recently, I found a way to find the perfect temperature every single time with silver-infused bed sheets made by Miracle Made that were inspired by NASA. Using silver-infused fabrics that, yes, are inspired by NASA, have self-cooling properties for a better night's sleep. And that technology, infused with silver, helps to prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which means that they will stay cleaner and fresher up to 3 times longer than other sheets. So no more gross-smelling bed sheets. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than some 5-star hotel bed sheets. And since it's the holiday season, Miracle sheets are the perfect gift for your spouse or your family, your friends, or hey, even for you, if you want to sleep on some much nicer sheets than what you have right now. Go to trymiracle.com/CVV. When you go there, you'll see, oh my gosh, I'm already saving over 40%. Well, check this out. Enter the code CVV at checkout. You'll save an additional 20%, plus you'll get 3 free towels thrown in. That's trymiracle.com/CVV, and this is backed by their 30-night guarantee. So if this isn't for you, they've got you covered. It's trymiracle.com/CVV. Yeah. People love talking about the idea of long-term storytelling. I feel like what you had with Jericho was such a long story that doesn't get talked about.
Yeah.
Like since the first episode of Dynamite. Mm-hmm. And then going through the Inner Circle, the Sex Gods, then turning on him, that it was such a long story that had so many different layers to it. And that's not part of the conversation of long-term storytelling. It should be.
No, yeah. And I feel like maybe because it's Jericho and it's me, and the internet likes to pick us as the guys to like hate or whatever. And I'll say this about Chris, you know, like I feel like he gets a target on his back just because he's doing it at such a high level for such a long time.
It's 33 years into it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's sometimes easy to look at a guy and be like, he's the reason my favorites are not doing this or whatever. But in reality, it's like, this guy doesn't need to do this anymore. He does it because he likes it or loves it. And, you know, the fact that he's still doing it 33 years, like you're saying, is a testament to him, because the motivation to keep going and doing this, it's hard, you know. I'm 13 years in this now, and sometimes I struggle with motivation every now and then. It's like, oh man, to think of like all the things I got to do to get to where I want to go to. It's like, oh man, it's a lot of work.
Look, you've got motivation in that little girl now.
100%. Now the motivation has changed.
Isn't it crazy how it changes everything?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And so, you know, I respect him a lot, just because, you know, he tries to help everyone he can. He's helped me a bunch, you know. And it's funny that whenever I turned on him, I'm wearing gear that resembles his WrestleMania 19 gear versus Shawn Michaels. And he's kind of wearing, in a way, Shawn Michaels-ish, like the color scheme. But we never really talked about it. It wasn't a thing like, hey, you wear this, I wear this. And like, because I didn't even know the turn was going to happen that day. And truthfully, I didn't even want the turn to happen. I never wanted to turn on Chris. I was telling Tony and everybody, I'm like, let's just go our separate ways. Let's just never turn on each other. But it ended up happening, and it went in a really cool way. You know,
that was really cool.
If you're gonna do it, you got to do it right, and I feel like that was a cool way to do it.
That was a nice little Easter egg, and people immediately, you know, saw the tie-in there. How did you guys line that up so perfectly? Like when you see the side-by-side image of your turn and then the WrestleMania 19 turn, they're perfect.
I mean, that's I don't know the words, but that's like Chris, you know. It's him selling down, like all that. Like all I had to do was kick him in the dick, you know. My job's easy.
But did you backstage go, all right, if this is gonna happen, if this turn's gonna happen, let's make it this thing?
It was like, because we're trying to think like, what should we do? Should I fucking super kick him? Should I do this? And it's like, what's a more dickish move just to kick him in the dick? So it wasn't like even like we're trying to pay homage to that right away. It was like, let's just do that. Because I think it was like, kick him in the dick, then hit him with my move. And then it's like, nah, let's just do this. And then it's like, okay, well, hey, this is actually a callback to this. Let's try to like really, you know.
Yeah. I think another thing people forget about you is you had the very first singles match in AEW history.
That's right. Yeah.
You and Kip Sabian, Double or Nothing 2019. And look, there's been so many amazing things that have happened in AEW over the last 5 years. But the fact that you guys had that first singles match is something people will be talking about forever.
Mm-hmm.
What an honor to be able to do that.
Yeah, I remember like because I remember it was like a couple weeks before Double or Nothing, and the match was still not announced. And I remember I was texting Cody, and I was like, hey, am I on this show? Am I in the Battle Royale? He's like, you're going to be on, don't worry. And then all of a sudden they announced like the match graphic, me versus Kip. And I was like, whoa, we're in a singles match? Like I thought I was just going to get thrown in the Battle Royale, which I would have been more than happy with, you know, just to be on a historic show like that. But to be having the first singles match in this brand new company, it was a lot of pressure. It's like, ooh, I gotta do good, and I gotta like set the bar for the rest of the show.
Well, he really set the tone, not just for the rest of the show, but like for what was AEW going to be.
Yeah.
Like there was talk, because at that point it was May. There had been talk since January when this was announced. What's this going to be about? What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? And you guys in that match set the tone for not just that night, but really for everything that came after that.
That's what I was really proud of. It's like two guys that are not very known, you know, and just going out there on a major stage to get kind of show like this is the future, you know. It's not just going to be guys with established names. It's going to be guys you maybe never heard of that also can go, and it's going to be a pretty badass mix of both, you know.
How did Jericho approach you about the Inner Circle?
So I don't think he ever actually approached me. Like Nick Jackson told me at a Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, like you're going to be in a singles match with Cody, and then I think you're going to be joining Chris. I was like, sure, Nick, sure. But then I think it was that day, like, that I found out, like, oh, this is really happening. Okay, I'm joining Chris Jericho in this new group.
And that went on for a while. Like,
yeah.
Inner Circle was, really the first real faction in AEW. Mm-hmm. And to have you in there and have Hager in there and Jericho kind of leading the way.
Santana, Ortiz,
Yeah.
like
Them coming out and taking the masks
that was
off.
badass.
Oh, it was.
I love those guys. You
Yeah.
know? If I could change one thing in AEW, is I would have made them tag team champions. You know, you know. I know they're not teaming anymore. Whatever.
Yeah, they don't like each other so much anymore.
You know, but you know, one day maybe they'll get back together. That's what I would. Cause dude, they're just so badass together. You know.
Yeah.
And especially them in the inner circle, to be able to team with those guys, it's like there's such cool guys in the back too, and badass in the ring. A lot of respect for those guys.
There's a lot of parallels to what you do and what the Hardys did. And for you to have the program that you had with Matt Hardy,
Oh yeah,
that must have just been crazy.
dude, big Hardy boys, Mark. You know, growing up, me and my brother would be Jeff and Matt, and we'd be on our trampolines emulating or imitating their moves. And so to be able to wrestle Matt multiple times, it was like, wow, this is cool.
Then he runs you over in a golf cart.
Yeah, that didn't feel too good.
Dude, you took that bump at full speed.
Like I said, give 100% every time, you know, leave nothing undone. And people forget, Chris kind of hit the golf cart right before that. He kind of just like maybe touched it a little bit. And I remember telling him, like, I'm going to make this look crazy. Like, all right, you're going to hit me with a golf cart? Like, you're going to hit me with a golf cart, you know?
But you can't practice that.
No, absolutely not. When the red light's on, that's when we're going, you know?
So how did you time it to jump at the windshield as it's coming at you?
It was almost like a deer in headlights. I'm running and then it's coming and it's like, oh, there's not like too much time to think because it's like it's coming at you too. It turned out pretty well. I almost had the Yamcha pose from Dragon Ball Z where I'm just lying there dead.
All
for
the
a minute.
memes that came out of that, because like you look behind you and you see it, and then you start running,
Yeah.
and then it hits you.
Yep.
That was great.
People were like, why didn't you just run left or right? And I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Well, I did get hit again by a golf cart, so I'm really not learning my lesson.
Next time after that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you'll figure it out after that.
Mhm. Third time's a charm.
But that move with you and Matt Hardy on the scissor lift,
Sheesh. Yeah.
that was scary.
I think that was scary for everybody.
Yeah.
The tables were, I think, too close. That's what it was. You know, if they were a little bit further, or we went too high on the scissor lift, man, it was just such an unfortunate thing because we had so much cool stuff for that match. Like, so much cool stuff. I was actually going to get thrown off Daly's place to end the thing. Like, we're going to climb to the roof of Daly's place, and then
What are you talking about?
I was going to get thrown off.
Onto what?
Something.
So are we talking 50 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air?
Maybe like 30 feet. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It's like a Shane McMahon spot.
literally, yeah. You know, that would have been really cool just because I love falling off high things. But,
Who says that, by the way? I just love falling off high stuff.
man, it's like the closest thing you are to flying until gravity hits you.
It's also the closest thing to dying. You know?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, man. That's I'm glad you're doing it and not me.
Yeah. But, man, that match, you know, unfortunately, it's remembered as like one of the worst moments in AEW, but I think it was a lot of learning from all aspects of what to do in a situation like that. You know, and I'm just happy Matt was okay, you know. I remember I was in the back, like, crying, man, because I was, like, so upset. He's, like, a hero of mine, and, like, stuff keeps happening because the chair thing just happened, like, a couple weeks before that.
Yeah.
And I followed him to the hospital, and I stayed with him till, like, 5 in the morning to make sure he was good, you know.
Wow. Accidents happen, though.
No, yeah, and it just, you know, it was unfortunate. It was like one after another, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, am I destined to like fuck this guy up? You know, like, why is this happening?
Yeah, why am I hurting my childhood hero?
Yeah, dude, it was unfortunate, but I will say respect to Matt because he could have said, you know what, it is just not working out with this kid. Don't want to work with him anymore.
Yeah.
But he still worked with me. We did the Elite Deletion match at his compound, and. You know, that's respect to him to finish the story the right way instead of just, you know, cleaning his hands with it. He was like,
Yeah.
no, we got to finish it the right way.
When you think back to the Stadium Stampede, what's the feeling in your gut?
Man, that was such like a such a crazy time of wrestling because the pandemic and everything. And then it's like, okay, we're going to wrestle in this big empty stadium.
An NFL stadium.
Yeah. And then, we're all talking about ideas and stuff. And then it almost became a bit of like, how much bad stuff can happen to me in the match. I'm getting chased by a golf cart. I'm getting chased by a horse. I'm getting hit by sprinklers. I get thrown off of this thing through this platform by Kenny. It's like, because I remember there was one idea for the horse to chase Hager, and I knew the golf cart was chasing me later. And I was like, nah, guys, I think this should be the bit. Like, just bad thing after bad thing. Like, I don't ever catch a break. It was probably one of the most fun matches, even though it took forever to film. And then as we're filming it too, we find out it's probably going to be the last match of Double or Nothing. So it's like the main event.
Yeah.
So that was like really cool too. And then, I was mad I wasn't a part of this year's, I got to be a part of the first two. I missed the third one, but maybe we'll get on the fourth one.
There's not a lot from like the pandemic era that's like super rewatchable because it's just weird, right?
It's different, yeah.
Like it's an empty arena, especially early on.
Mm-hmm.
That though was like one of the great high spots of this weird time in the world when we're all dealing with this strange thing that we don't know much about, and it's like this was such a great escape that didn't feel like that was the time we were living in.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, that whole Jacksonville era, the pandemic era, was probably some of the most fun I ever had in wrestling, despite, like, there not being much of a crowd. So, like, there's good and bad because, everything that's happening in the world. And then, like, there's not really fans around the ring, or sometimes we have wrestlers around the ring.
AEW was very innovative, though. Like, their first show was like, let's just put the camera on the entranceway.
Yep.
All that's important is the ring and the entranceway.
Mm-hmm.
Let's shine a light on that. Then it was like, well, can we have some sort of noise here? Let's put some wrestlers around the ring. They can make a little bit of noise. Then AEW was the first to have some fans in the building.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it was great how it's like, okay, this is the new goalpost. Let's see if we can hit that.
That's what they did. And then you saw like WWE changed their hard cam setup to go the entrance thing.
Very quickly, yeah.
Yeah. So like they really like innovative, like how you just said, like that whole thing. And that whole thing was like learning as you go, like, what can we do? All right, we're allowed to do this. Okay, can we do this? And then, okay, we can do this. And it's like trying to push it, like until we eventually got back to normal.
You want to talk about pushing it? I feel like you and Darby Allin are having a competition for like, I don't know, who can do the craziest stuff, or maybe who can possibly get injured the most. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we had a joke of like who's gonna have the most returns, because there was like a year where he kept coming back and leaving, then I kept coming back and leaving. Yeah, I mean, he might got me beat now. I feel like I was doing good, doing some crazy stuff, and he was doing some crazy stuff. But I got a baby now, so
he's not just doing the crazy stuff in wrestling though.
Yeah, he's climbing Mount Everest.
And he's doing the Nitro Circus stuff.
Oh, yeah. I know. I was so jealous of that. He invited me to do the one of the last ones that he did where he backflipped the tricycle.
Oh, man.
But Ty was still pregnant at that time. And I was like, I can't leave my pregnant wife to go and backflip a tricycle, I'll feel bad.
Because, like, if that goes well, it looks great.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go well, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, and I was still hurt too, so I was like, man, and I'm gonna get in trouble because they're gonna be like, you're not even cleared? Why are you backflipping stuff? Yeah, so I had to pass on it, but maybe next year, the kid will be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it should be a little bit bigger.
How you feeling now?
Oh, I'm cleared. I'm good. Yeah, that was crazy. I do the cutter so much, and then the stupidest things. Oh, this cutter that I do all the time. Just bonked my head on the canvas and then saw the future.
What'd it look like?
It looked like this, dude. I knew we were gonna be here.
Wow, and here we are. It's amazing.
Here we are.
I think that it's funny how sometimes the things that hurt the most in wrestling are the things that don't look like they hurt the most.
Yeah.
Was that one of them?
Yeah, I think so. And if you go back though, you can tell like, oh, okay, maybe he's not good. But like, I didn't know at that time, I actually thought they had a match booked for me that Wednesday. I thought I was good. And then it was until like a couple of days later, I was like really feeling it. And then Ty contacted the doctor.
Were you feeling dizzy?
No, just like the lights were bothering me. And that's kind of
throwing up?
No, thankfully. It wasn't like that, but I had a headache and stuff. And it was like the lights were bothering me, like bright lights. like my future bright. But yeah, then you know, they obviously took me off and let me chill and sent me to some people to see. But yeah, that was like probably the longest I've been out of wrestling so far. It's been since October 1st.
One of my favorite highlights of yours is pretty early in the AEW time, where you're doing a springboard and Matt Jackson pretty much kicks your head into the crowd.
Yeah. Man, that one, and the story of that, I went to Australia the next day. So my ankle completely rolled to the side. If you watch it in slow motion, I pretty much land on my own ankle and almost break it. And my leg swelled up, and I flew to Australia the next day. Yeah, which I probably wasn't supposed to, but...
The timing on that for both of you guys is amazing.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, anything they give me, I'm going to try to give it 110%. Like, that was a battle royale that I wasn't even in, and I had one spot, which was to do the springboard and get super kicked. And I told Matt, I was like, I'm going to make this look like the craziest super kick. I'm just letting you know. And then he's like, oh, okay, like whatever, you know, like calm down. I'm like, no, it's gonna be cool. And then yeah, I tried to freaking turn myself inside out, and yeah, I think it was a pretty good one.
Well, we're gonna run down.
It didn't feel good, let me tell you, dude. I felt it on my chin. I was like, ooh, that connected. And then I felt my freaking ankle just completely pop, and I was like, oh, I just broke my leg. And then they're having to carry me to the back. And actually, when I'm laying on the ground, one of the referees comes and grabs me, and they're like, come on, get up. It's time, because it's the show, it's a commercial, time to get everyone out of there. Yeah. Like, the match is over. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm hurt. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think I broke my leg. Like, I'm just so calm saying it that, like, the ref is like, wait, what? Like, come on, get up. I'm like, nah, I think I'm fucked up. Yeah. I wasn't, like, in a lot of pain. It was just like, yeah, I just knew I couldn't really walk on it.
Let's go through some of your most crazy highlights. You ready?
Let's go.
How about Eddie Kingston throwing you off the cage of Blood and Guts?
Yeah, that was a crazy one. Well, because the first Blood and Guts, Chris got thrown off the cage. And I remember I wanted to be thrown off the cage because, like I said, I like falling off high things. But it didn't make sense in the first one. It made sense for Chris to be thrown off of it. So the second one, when I got told I was in it, I texted Chris. I was like, I'm being thrown off of it. Like, you know, I'm taking this one. And he's like, all right. And it almost didn't happen because the day before we went there, and the doctors were like, yeah, no, this is too high. And the tables, like, they had to build a thing so it's like it was a little less high. I didn't want anything built there. I was like, just throw me through the tables. Like, you know, let's just put a crash pad underneath if you want, but like, it's gonna be fine. It's not that high. Up there though, it seems way higher. Let me tell you, because I guess your head is just like a different height than your feet. But yeah, right beforehand, dude, it's like my mind's going everywhere right now. But no, so right before we go off of it, or right before, like, when we're talking about the thing, I wanted to jump off of it. I didn't want no one to throw me off of it, because I can control myself. I can't control what Eddie Kingston's going to do. Sure. He pushes me with too much momentum, especially because the box is only like this big. You go too much, you're going over. You go too little, like, so that was really nervous there, because that's 100% on Eddie. If he pushes me too much, I'm screwed. If he pushes me too little, okay, like, but luckily it all worked out, you know?
When you're just walking up there, like, and you're looking down and you're seeing the ring all the way down there, how scary is that?
Honestly, it's not scary at all for me. Yeah. I had Ty go up there, though. I was like, come check out where I'm going to jump off of, you know? And she was not a fan of the height.
Well, you know, most people wouldn't be.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just always want to do something cool. I remember when I was a fan watching cage matches, like, I always would see, like, steel cage matches, and I see Jeff Hardy jumping off of them or whatever, and it's like, that was what would excite me as a kid. So I'm wanting to do something that if I'm a new fan watching, it's like, oh, this is crazy, this is badass, what is this AEW? I want to check it out.
And you're one of those people. I don't know how can you outdo these spots?
That's the problem, is like, you know, I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, I'm thinking of all these different things I can do, and I don't know, but that if you notice, I haven't done too much crazy stuff the past like 6 months.
Well, you've been injured.
That's true. So if I just take myself out every now and then,
you can just keep having more returns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can beat Darby in the returns.
Have you wrestled Osprey yet?
I had a 4-way match with him, like back in 2018 or 2017, at like a WrestleMania weekend. But never a singles. Never a singles.
That's going to be great.
I think so.
At some point in time, I feel like that's going to end up happening.
Yeah. I just want it to be done right, because, all the crazy stuff is good and I can have all the crazy matches, but like, I want people to be invested, not just, that's what will take the matches that much more. You can have a great match, but if you have a great story behind it, it makes everything so much bigger. And that's what I'd want if him and I ever got into it. It can't be just a thrown together match. I refuse.
When you say your goal is to be the best, is it to have the best match? Is it to be the most memorable character? What is it?
Honestly, just the best to me. Like, if I feel like I did my best, like I did the best Sammy Guevara I could, because everything's like subjective to whoever's observing it. Like some people like apples, some people like oranges, and I learned along the way in AEW, it's like you're not going to please everybody. Everybody's got something to say. So I'm just trying to make myself proud and, the people who love me proud,
How do you deal with the haters?
I get annoyed sometimes,
Yeah.
Especially last year. I feel like this year it's calmed down a little bit, but man, last year I feel like they really hated me.
Why?
I don't know, man. People have their own perceptions of whatever. They want to blame me for whatever.
I think there's a lot of people that think they know who you are, think they know what you're about. Mm-hmm. And they just project whatever that is onto you.
Yeah. Like, people think, whatever, it's...
Well, they read a report and they go, that must be true. Mm-hmm. And they don't know what actually happened.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, and I try not to, defend myself. Like, especially online, because there's never going to be a winner with it. And sometimes when I do end up defending myself, there's never a winner. It's like, oh, why did I even do this? Because, like, then they're going to have something to say with this. So it's like there's no winning with it. And it just is what it is, Like, I try to give my best in the ring and, just try to show people, especially with the vlogs and everything. It's like, I'm just a kid from the backyard who wanted to be a professional wrestler, and now I'm living my dream, and, anybody out there can do it too, as long as you believe in yourself and you work hard. I always say, do what they say you can't to become what you are. And,
Wow.
I always knew I could do this and be a star. And, I got told every which way that it would never happen and that it was 1 in a million. And I always thought, why couldn't I be that one? And so, when people want to go and think of whatever with me, it's like, and make up a story of who I am, I'm really like, I want to tell people like, that's not me, but at the same time, it's not up to me to go and convince them anymore. Mm-hmm. People are going to make up whatever they want to say about me.
I heard a really interesting quote. It was like, everybody cheers for you when you're on the way up because they want you to do great, but they don't want you to do better than them.
Yep.
Because when you get to be successful, you become a reminder of all the things that the other people gave up on.
And that's the thing. Like, before I got the TNT title, everybody loved me. And I knew once I got the title, it was going to change. And then I got the title again. It was like too much success in a way.
Yeah.
That people were like, whoa, we wanted you to win, but not that much, Yeah. Oh, and you're like, you got the girl, you're married now? Like, whoa, we don't like this.
Yeah, having a public relationship probably was... added another layer to
100%.
that, right?
Yeah. And it is, what you just said is a perfect thing, though. They want to see you win, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And that's how I felt it was. And I said it was going to happen, and then it did. And it was just like, I don't know what you guys want. You guys want to see me win, right? But then once I start winning, it's all of a sudden like, whoa, why are you winning? You wanted me to win. You said you wanted me to win. Now I'm doing it. Why am I back? And like, that's the thing. Like, I never really changed anything I did. Like, I remember there was like reports that all of a sudden I'm hard to work with and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, I'm still the same person. And like, there were certain things like, I know I almost never went in the locker room before, especially in Jacksonville area. me and Darby were very similar, where we just kind of find a corner and just changed in a corner. Like, I remember I would hang out with the camera guys, but then I remember that became like a big deal. Like, all of a sudden I became champion, and it was like, why isn't he in the locker room? I was like, I was never in the locker room, you know? So there was like a lot of misconceptions, and I can understand from a certain point, like, if you're not really paying attention to someone, and then it's like, oh, now he's got the title, and now you're paying attention. It's like, now you kind of notice things.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I feel like that's what I learned a lot throughout the past couple of years, is like just squashing things before they become bigger. You know, I feel like me and Eddie Kingston, had a little thing, and it could have been squashed earlier, you know, and I take blame on that too, because, you know, I could have just gone and found out what the deal was. But sometimes when you feel like you're a target, you almost like want to shut everyone else out. Like, okay, everyone wants to hate me, screw it, hate me, you know. But it's like, hold on now, like, that's not who you are. And so that's pretty much what I learned, is just like, you know, going up to people, finding out what's going on. Hey, I'm hearing this, like, what's going on here?
I think you've got to. I mean, not only is that the mature thing to do, and clearly you've, you know, matured a lot if that's the way you're approaching things now, but these are people you're seeing week in, week out. These are people you're going to be spending the next however many years with.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. And like last year, man, I really felt like I was a target from everywhere, like from people in the back to other wrestlers to podcasters to everything. It's like I felt like I was a target on every way, like, and maybe that's just how I felt. Maybe that wasn't even really what it is, because, you know, something, I forgot, I heard this thing, it's like when you walk into a room full of strangers and you just assume they all hate you, like sometimes it's not that, it's just in your head, you know. So you know, it's just learning to really be aware of that, and trying to navigate the best situations that I can, and deal with things the best that I can.
What do you think is the biggest difference between you now versus the 2019 version of you debuting in AEW?
Man, I mean, the biggest difference, I still feel like I'm the same in a way, but I feel like how I deal with things is different. You know, I feel like because I was younger, and so it's like I'm dealing with things from I feel like a less mature way. And then having different things happen in my life, and then having to deal with them differently, you know, like finding out the best way to deal with things is learning, like, you know, I'm young, you know, like this is my first time being me. And so it's like, and living all these different experiences and having to learn and grow. And that's what I've tried to do, is just grow and go, you know, grow from the things that I've done or whatever, and go on, be a better version of myself.
Is there like a piece of advice from Booker that sticks with you?
Yeah, anytime I get too nervous, it's just like, hey man, if the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you mess up, life's going to be okay. Kind of don't take things too seriously. Yeah, so, because there's some matches where I get way too nervous, you know?
He said something to me, maybe this will resonate with you. 99% 100. Like, if you're not 100% about something, if you're only 99% about it, you're not all in on it. It's 99% or 100. Like, and if it's 99%, it might as well be 1%. If it's 100%, like, do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like very much with the style of wrestling that you have, that's exactly what you do. Yeah,
I mean, especially like if you're unsure about like doing something really crazy, you know, most likely you shouldn't do it. But that's the challenging thing too, is when you're trying to do something really crazy and you know it's dangerous, trying to like really think about it, like, can I do this, or am I just nervous because I know that like it is dangerous but I can do it? Like, is it dangerous because like it's gonna be bad and I know like I shouldn't do it, or is it just dangerous because it's something new? And anytime something new is like, it's, you know, fearful. People fear the new. And
yeah, so fear the unknown.
Exactly. Yeah. But if it goes right, like that's the cutter off the ladder. You know, I was nervous because I'm like, dude, this is gonna be on Botchamania. You know, if I just eat shit on it. But luckily it worked out, and it's been such an iconic moment.
Ladders, though, you can't mess with ladders. Like you said, they can kick out. A bad thing can happen.
But that's also been the thing I've learned, is like trying to understand like that the anxiety that I might feel or the fear of it is not real. Like, I can feel this, but this cannot stop me from doing things. Like, you can overcome anything that you feel. Like I've been so nervous for matches that I wanted to leave the building and just quit, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, and I overcame that anxiety and that fear, and it's become great moments in my life that I'm very happy that I did that. And if I didn't do that, I would feel almost ashamed and like a failure because I gave up on myself. But I challenged myself to do the unknown, and it worked out a lot of times. And not every time it's going to, you know, sometimes you're going to fail, you're going to get knocked down, but you have to get back up, you know, and that's what life's all about.
Yeah.
Learning, growing, going.
Yeah, it's win or learn, right? It's not win or lose.
Yes.
How nervous were you to sing Jericho's theme?
Bro, he texted me and was like, I need you to learn the lyrics. And like he was dead serious. He wanted me to learn the lyrics. And I really tried. I was studying it. And then the moment happened, and then there was like, oh, we're going to give you a microphone. Okay, we're not going to give you a microphone. Okay. Then I'm singing, and then they give me a microphone. So it kind of messed me up. And then like I just blink on the words. And then it's live TV, and it's going. So I'm just like, da 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 da. Like I'm just making stuff up, you know.
But I think that made it even better.
I think so too. And I remember I felt bad. I apologized to Chris. I was like, dude, I messed up your song. I'm sorry. He's like, it was better this way.
He's trying so hard to not laugh.
Yeah.
As he's walking out with you. Mm-hmm. You can see he's like making this face.
He's probably thinking like, dude, I gave him one job this whole week. Learn the lyrics.
Yeah.
And this is the best you got.
And you probably knew most of the lyrics, you know.
I don't know about that.
Really?
I knew the what have I become?
Yeah, everybody knows that part.
The chorus one, but the other ones?
You know, could you sing it right now? Like, do you know?
I think I know a lot more now.
I don't even think. I become, man.
Yeah, dude, I've heard it a million times.
Well, you've heard it 10 million times then.
Yeah, and he gave me a lot of credit too before, because when I would come out with him, I'd just be behind him, and then like I never really listened to the song before until I started coming out with him, and I remember listening to it, and I was like, wow, this song's pretty good, and I'm jamming behind him and stuff, and then I'm like singing and stuff, and he was like, yeah, it kind of like made it more of a thing, is you just acting like a goof, like singing my song behind me, and so yeah.
Was it planned out that you were going to play it at your wedding? Or did it just kind of happen?
So because Ty and I, like, even before we were together, like we did like a karaoke thing at a signing where we just sung the song, and like went whatever, got a lot of views online, viral stuff, and so it was like, okay, that we got to sing this. That was like one of our first times ever hanging out, and we're just friends at that point, and it's like, well, now we're married, you know, we might as well like play it here too.
Watching you guys sing it with the smiles on your face at your wedding, it's an incredible wedding video.
It was really cool, you know. And then we even went in the because we were on the Jericho cruise this past year, and he was singing Judas, and we just went in the crowd and started jamming like crazy. And it's like, isn't it crazy? We were singing this here, then we're doing it at the wedding. Now we're on the boat.
Is Luna going on the Jericho cruise?
Man, I think she's too small right now. Yeah, maybe the next one.
Yeah.
I think we looked up, they have to be at least like 3 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think, or 6 months. I could be wrong.
You could be like, I know the guy who the cruise is named
after.
Well,
he might be able to pull some connections, but yeah.
It's a tough age with how much they have to eat and figuring out the sleep. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not getting a lot of it. I'm
sure. Well, thankfully, like Ty's mom is here, and she's been helping a lot.
Oh, that's
a lot at night. You know, she leaves at the end of the month, so then I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Cry because she's leaving. You know, not because she helps and like so much. Yeah.
I remember there was one night we were taking turns when the baby's sleeping in your room, right? Mm-hmm. So in the bassinet, and we were taking turns, and there was one night where like our daughter Logan just wouldn't stop for like an hour. And you're looking at this beautiful little girl screaming their head off.
Yeah, they don't know how to do much, but they know how to scream.
Oh, yeah, they know how to scream, sleep, and eat, and that's it.
Yeah.
She's screaming at me, and I'm looking at this baby, and it's 3:30 in the morning or whatever, and I'm like, I love you so much, but I need to sleep.
Dude, I was talking to Luna. She was screaming. Ty's pumping the bottle, and I'm like, hey, we hear you. She's pumping the bottle right now. You're being inconsiderate.
I'm like, honey, I love you so much, but there's nothing we can do. She wouldn't take a bottle till maybe like the last month or so. So, there's one food source, and it ain't me.
Yeah.
So there's literally nothing I can do except hold her.
Yeah, so like in the beginning, we weren't doing the bottles, and it was just Ty getting up. I'm like, yo, you got to pump the bottles because this is going to be rough on you,
Yeah.
I'm a sound sleeper too, so I have to be like, just wake me up and I'll go feed her. Like, if you give me the bottles and stuff, We have
a freezer full of milk that there's she won't drink it from a bottle, so it just sits there. Actually, we donated some recently, that was pretty great to be able to do that. But like,
did you drink it?
You have to, right?
Dude, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to.
I think you have.
Yeah,
you have to. It was. I was just like, try a little bit here.
No, you didn't open the thing, just.
I don't. I don't know. Give that a try if you want.
No, I'm gonna try it for sure. I haven't tried it yet, though.
It doesn't have much of a flavor. I think we're going way down a rabbit hole here. Yeah, it doesn't have much of a flavor.
Okay. Yeah.
This is very strange. People are gonna, what is wrong with that guy? It's all very beautiful, though.
I'm gonna put it in my cereal.
Oh. Wow.
That's the part you're gonna clip.
That's the clip right there. All of it is so beautiful, and I love Rachel so much more. Watching her go through all of this and us going through it together. Like our baby crawled for the first time the other day.
That's awesome.
And you're gonna get so many firsts between now and where we're at 6 months, but there's so many little moments. And it's just like, oh man.
It's crazy how fast they get big. Like,
it's so crazy.
She's almost a month, and I know it's not that much time, but I can tell like she's gotten bigger in just that little amount of time.
Is the background of your phone her?
Oh yeah.
This is how you know. This is how you know you're a dad.
Wait. Close.
You have a lot of notifications. Look at your man. Is your phone on popular mode?
I don't know. You can kind of.
Oh
see. Yeah.
man.
You can kind of see.
Actually, I don't. So I've got this thing right now.
There we go. I got it. I fixed it. Got all the notifications off.
Here, let me clear mine. I've got this thing now. So there she is in the bath.
Look at that.
But
just a couple dads here.
Look at us, just being dads. I've got this thing with the iPhone now where you can tap it. And it goes.
Whoa! You got to show me how to do that.
It goes through your featured photos, so it's between Rachel, Logan, and the dog.
That's cool.
Oh, and Dad. There's my dad. So Rachel, Logan, and I'll show you how to do it. It takes your featured photos.
Yeah.
And it just every time you tap it.
That's cool because like my background when you open it is from the wedding.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a great photo.
I got my 2 girls there.
Yeah. Well, if you change it over, you'll be like, oh, that's a nice little memory I'm reminded of.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember that photo.
That's cool.
Like, there was this. I don't know, it's gone now, but there was like a landscape photo. I'm like, I don't even remember. I don't remember where that is or where that was.
I do like that feature in the phone where it just pops up memories and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's like you just forget stuff and then it's like, oh, a year ago this happened.
There's something about the lock screen being the same all the time that kind of numbs you to it.
Yeah.
So I was changing it pretty frequently before, and now that I realize this is a feature, I'm like, oh wow, that's like that activates a new part of my brain of like, oh, I want to go down that path and remember that cool moment.
Yeah. You definitely have to show me how to do that.
I will.
That's cool.
Man, what a year you've had.
It's been a while. It's been a wild one, man.
I don't know the exact time frame, but what is it for you for being engaged, buying a house, getting married, getting pregnant, having a kid?
Dude, 2022 is probably like one of the best years of my life, I mean, this year now we have the baby, but 2022 got engaged, got married, and we got the house. And then 2023, pregnant, baby, So it's been a cool almost 2 years.
And that's just personally, professionally over the last 2 years, there's been a lot.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride, man. You go from being super loved to super hated to loved again to hated again. Like it's
where
crazy.
Are you at now? Do people love you or hate you?
I don't know. I think they hated me because I turned on Chris, but then I got hurt. So maybe now I can come back and be a good guy again.
They're gonna love you after this interview and this jacket. This is Rey Mysterio.
This is a Rey Mysterio jacket. My childhood hero, Rey Mysterio. Got to wrestle him a couple times.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah,
He's super cool. Yeah. Saw him at a different show one time. He was like, "What's up, Sammy?" And I was like, "Oh, he remembers my name." What? Yeah.
Who haven't you worked with yet in AEW?
In AEW?
Other than Osprey, which we already talked about.
Right. I mean, dude, there's like guys who come in, like RVD, I would love to wrestle. you know, just because he was also a guy like Jeff Hardy and RVD were my guys. Jeff Hardy, that's the guy I got to wrestle. Yeah. That'd be number one.
Think about if you were to go in a time machine to when you were wrestling in your backyard.
Oh, man.
And you were to tell that version of yourself, one day you're going to be in a faction with Chris Jericho. And, oh, by the way, you're going to turn on him.
Yeah.
And you're also going to do a program with Matt Hardy.
Yep.
What do you think he would say?
I think he'd believe you. Yeah. Maybe he'd be mad that it didn't happen sooner.
Really?
Yeah, he'd be like, what? It took us that long? We're going to do it faster. And then he would almost challenge me.
Dude, your 20s have been pretty great.
I think so. You know, it's crazy how wrestling has changed too with like social media and everything. It's like guys are getting signed younger and younger, and it's pretty cool, man.
It's pretty wild that we're in an era now of like the GIFs, like GIFable moments. Like people aren't even watching full matches.
Yeah.
They're going, oh, I saw that clip or that GIF from that match.
Well, that's like what blew up that Alex Zane guy, you know?
Yeah.
And that 630 to the outside, it just blew him up.
Yeah.
And that's like thanks to social media and all that, you know. The vlogs help me like connect with people in a way and show a different light to who I am. And so, you know, it's definitely it's cool to see guys use the tools that we all have that are accessible on our phones, you know. It's like,
is the vlog coming back?
It will come back eventually. I don't know if it'll be as frequent because I do feel like YouTube has changed. I don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, I started a whole new channel because it changed.
Yeah,
so
the clips
much.
one is blown up.
Don't worry, we've got about 12 clips already.
All right, there we go.
But the clips channel like eclipsed the main one. Like my main one started in 2011. I started the clips channel really like 2-ish years ago, and it's growing at a crazy rate. So you're right. YouTube's changed a lot, and I just kind of went, oh, if that's what you're looking for, I'll give you as much of that as I can do.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe I'll do that because like I think vlogs got so like saturated. Like there was BT, there was Isaiah Cassidy's, Uno's, mine,
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page's, yes. Yeah. Which his are great. You know, the toy hunts and all that.
He's not doing them anymore.
I know. I was like, what?
He basically said, and I'm sure you can relate to this. It just got too taxing to like. I made an agreement with the audience that I was going to put out one a week every week. Yeah. And he's like, you could tell sometimes that I clearly was just putting it out because I needed to put it out. Man,
and like, especially now it's more like lifestyle stuff, like just me. Because like everyone's left, like Fuego's not in AEW, Allen's in TNA. And so it's not as easy to like get the guys that were in it before in it. So like, but before when I had other people in it, it was very exhausting at the shows. Hey, I got to worry about my segment or my match, but also I got to grab like 5 people to film a bit with or whatever. And it's really like stressful.
And were you still editing it yourself?
Oh, I still edit it all.
Well, maybe you should outsource that.
So I do sometimes. Kip Sabian's brother, Producer Ben, what up, Producer Ben? He edits a lot of mine stuff, but I also do like to edit. Like I really like to edit.
I like to edit. I don't love to edit, and that shifted for me. Like when I got Troy's the guy who makes all my vertical videos. I think he's the best in the game, and then Joe does all of my CVV clip stuff. When I was able to tell them like what I was looking for. And then they took that over. Yeah. They're 10 out of 10 editors. They're 11 out of 10 editors. Yeah. I'm like a 4 out of 10 editor.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like Producer Ben, he can do all these like effects and stuff that I have no idea how to do. So he can make the videos way cooler. But sometimes I feel like a vlog, it's almost like your baby or what you film. It's like, so it's like I want to almost be hands-on with it. But sometimes I can't. I'm like, dude, I'll pay you. Like, please take care of this.
Like, I think it's Jake Paul just like films it, and then whatever his editor comes up with, that's the video. And I don't know, maybe you got to take that approach. What do I know? No, I mean, definitely, I think you're right. Especially now that I have a baby, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You thought you were busy before, right? Yeah, everything changes now. Yep. Dude, it's so good to catch up with you. Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a long time. Crazy to think that you had the panda head last time we did the interview. I should have brought it. Should have put it right there. Just for old time. We just got this random vase in this Airbnb here. Yes. Wow, it matches the curtains. Nice. This is a very nice setup. It's better than the hotel we were in before. Better than the hotel with my iPhone on a $10 stand of some sort. Yeah. I figured if we can get an Airbnb and we can just bring people here. We've done 5 interviews. You're number 5.
Yeah, well, hey, you're in Orlando. It's like the hot spot.
All of you guys live here.
Yeah, it's crazy I live here because I never thought I'd live here. I was like, I'm never moving to Orlando. All the wrestlers are here.
You're very much a Texas,
Yeah.
I love Texas, and that's
Yeah.
how people feel about Texas.
Well, I still say from Houston, Texas.
Of course.
And I'll always rep Houston. And the reason for that is because if there's any kids from Houston that watch me and then they are, not in the best spot in life, they can see me and say like, hey, this guy made it, so why can't I?
Yeah.
And that's why I'll always rep Houston.
Congrats on all your success, man.
Congrats on all your success.
Thank you. Personally, professionally for you. And we weren't doing this before, so it's going to be great. I end every interview talking about gratitude.
Oh, yes.
So what are 3 things in your life you're grateful for right now?
I am grateful for Ty, my wife. I'm grateful for our baby, and I am grateful for our life.
It's 3 great things.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
What are the 3 things you're grateful for?
Oh my gosh, turn the tables on me. Grateful for my wife. She's just such a great partner and great mother to our little girl. Grateful for Logan, our daughter.
Yeah.
And grateful for health.
There we go.
So grateful for health. Without that, none of this is possible.
Isn't it crazy when you get sick, all of a sudden you start appreciating like how much you took for granted
Right?
when you're normal.
Yeah. And also just grateful for opportunities.
Yeah.
And
you're grateful for me.
Grateful for
me.
Making this happen. Yeah. So we finally made it happen.
Yeah.
Finally caught up.
Yes.
So thanks, bro.
No, thank you, dude.
Appreciate you, man.
Let's do it again in another 5 years.
See you in 2028.